should.
Today we're going to be looking at a shocking street preaching event indeed. Now, to be honest with you, in Canada, where I'm from, we don't see many people street preaching. I've only actually seen it in Toronto, and often it's cults or even Muslims are street preaching in Toronto. So you're not going to see a lot of street preaching here in Canada. And likely, if a guy like this was preaching too close to a place where abortions are performed, you would likely be arrested. But if he was doing this in a major city and saying what he was saying in this sermon, he would probably be arrested for public nuisance. But here we have Pastor Kevin from Christ Forgiveness Ministries preaching that a man is a man, and that if you are a man, you cannot be a woman. Let's give him a listen and let's see what happens.
Harder, but you need to try less being like somebody you're not and start to humble yourself and be somebody that God made you to be. He didn't make a man to be a woman. He made the man to be a man. He didn't make the woman to be a man. He made the woman to be a woman. And this is the truth. What are you going to do? Come attack me now? I should. Hey man, that's up to you. If you want to pull that on me, well, God bless you. So you just threatened me with a gun. You just pulled a gun on my face. Man, Lord have mercy on you. This means that you don't even know who you are. Nope, I still love you. Even though you pulled a gun on me, I still love you. I still bless you.
I recognize that the gun laws are much different in Canada than they are in the United States, but this individual is in San Francisco, California, which has very strict gun laws. And I looked at it. What in fact this individual did to the street preacher was a crime. And I would hope that his actions in this video would lead to his arrest and his charging, and hopefully probably losing his ability to carry a gun. But I have a few other thoughts. First, secular society, of which we find ourselves in North America, hates Jesus Christ and, of course, will hate true Christians. Now, this is a promise of Jesus found in the Gospel of John. John 15, verses 18 to 25. If the world hates you, know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love you as its own. But because you're not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Remember the word I said to you, a servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they kept my word, they will also keep yours. But all these things they will do to you on account of my name, because they do not know him who sent me. If I had not come and spoken to them, they would not have been guilty of sin. But now they have no excuse for their sin. Whoever hates me hates my Father also. If I had not done among them the works that no one else did, they would not be guilty of sin. But now they have seen and hated both me and my Father. But the word that is written in their law must be fulfilled. They hated me without cause. And so if you ever want to get people worked up or upset, you just have to talk to them about the truths of the Bible. Explain to them the gospel. Explain to them that they are a sinner and that they need Jesus Christ. Explain to them some of the truths of how a Christian lives. And people will go bananas because they hate Jesus, they hate his word, and they hate the people who stand for Jesus and his word. Number two, the preacher acted and carried himself in what I can see a godly way. He had a gun to his head. That's a crime in San Francisco. He was swore at. And what did he do? He said he loved that person. He blessed that person. He didn't retaliate. He didn't even really flinch. This is how Jesus calls us to treat people who are our enemies. We see this in Matthew chapter 5, verses 43 and 44. You have heard, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. This is someone who's seeking to live out a godly life, and they showed godliness to a person who threatened their life with a gun. And finally, I encourage everyone to keep on preaching and teaching Jesus Christ. Keep on speaking about the work of Christ on the cross. Jesus went to the cross to pay the punishment for sinners. And humans, because they've sinned, and all have sinned, that's put them at odds with God, and they deserve the judgment of God. But God in His love sent His Son to bear the judgment of God so that people could be reconciled to God. They could have their sins forgiven and not counted against them. And they could have Christ's righteousness and be free from sin's consequence of judgment and forgiven. The gospel gives life. Jesus gives life. So keep preaching Jesus, even if people hate you, because it's better to be obedient to Jesus and be hated by the world than be silent and accepted by the world. Thanks for watching, and God bless.